Welcome back. Well, the new TV season has begun, which means I'm back to reviewing all the various comic book TV shows that we watch throughout the week, except certain ones that I have given up on because I refuse to watch them anymore. I'm looking at you, Legends of Tomorrow. Yeah, that's for you. Um, if you're new, if you're just joining us for the first time tonight, the way this works is that um, I go through the shows one by one, and I give my thoughts, and then we discuss them, and I go through all the comments and questions and stuff, and then we move on. Now, we won't have to do that this week because we only got one show to talk about, but for future reference, I really want to keep these things on topic from now on, so please try to limit your questions and comments to the show that we're currently discussing. It'll be easy this week because we only got one show. I really hope that my throat and my voice hold up this time. Been having some problems with that during the Impact streams. But it's usually better at night, plus I have some green tea here. I was recommended that I try tea with honey during the last stream, so I have some of that. Not a big tea drinker, but giving it a shot. It's not bad. And also, I have to be up really early tomorrow, so I really do need to keep this one short. And since we only got one show, hopefully we can handle that. So, can you guys hear me okay? Okay, good. All right, let's get going with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The Season 4 premiere. Yeah. TGA. This is my backup channel. I had a problem. There was a problem with the other one, and I can't. It's a long story, gone over it a couple of times, but I can't stream from that one for the time being. I have to wait for a bullshit strike to be removed. So for the time being, we're streaming from my backup until the primary one gets sorted out. But please don't unsubscribe from the Fool Killer 99 channel. That's still a thing. I'm going to be going back there once that's dealt with. But for now, we're streaming from the backup. Anywho, let's get going. Because I have to be up really early tomorrow. Anywho, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4, Episode 1, The Ghost. So, 6 months after Season 3 ended, Daisy has gone rogue, S.H.I.E.L.D. has a new director who seems to be kind of a paranoid wacko, and also Ghost Rider is a thing now. Daisy tries to track down and pick a fight with Ghost Rider, thinking he's some kind of serial killer. It doesn't go well for her. Meanwhile, some bad guys open up a box and release some kind of ghost or spirit that can influence people, and it may have gotten a hold of May, which could only mean bad things. Also, Dr. Radcliffe has built himself an artificially intelligent LMD, because Radcliffe never bothered to watch Ex Machina, and apparently doesn't know how these things tend to go horribly wrong. But it's okay, because by her own admission, Ada is incapable of killing anyone. So you know this will never blow up in Radcliffe's face. Not ever. So anyway, right off the bat, you can tell there's been another tonal shift. Just like when the show moved from 8 to 9 p.m. after Season 1, things just feel different. It's a little darker, a little more violent, a little sexier. One of the first shots is a close-up of Daisy's ass as she slips on her lacy underwear. Yeah, they definitely know they're on at 10 p.m. now. I'm not complaining about it either. That was pretty nice. And generally, I'm also really digging this new tone. You know, a show about a spy organization, especially one in a world like this, needs to be kind of dark. You know, there were times when they were on and earlier in the night, there were things that maybe they they wanted to do that they just couldn't. I mean, when you're on at 8 p.m., there's stuff that there's places you just can't go, even if it would have made the show better. Um, Now those restrictions are gone, and the results are good so far. Them going down this route means they can tackle stories and characters that probably wouldn't have been available to them before. Enter the spirit of vengeance. And the introduction of Ghost Rider, holy shit. I mean, the Charger shows up, and in a scene lifted almost panel for panel out of the comics, the bad guy shoots it with a fucking rocket launcher, it flips over in midair, bursts into flames, sticks the landing, and takes these assholes out like a fucking boss. This was insane. It's one of those sequences where you're wondering how the fuck they did this on a TV budget. I couldn't tell you, but fucking hell, what an entrance. Jesus Christ. I mean, A fucking plus on those visual effects. Wow. In fact, I'm going to post something here. I'm going to post a link in the chat room to a Tumblr post I found where you can see exactly how they recreated that sequence right out of the Ghost Rider comics. Okay, this is incredible. Check it out. Check this out. It's like a panel-for-panel recreation. Yeah, just click that link right there. I think that's right. And is that the one? Did I get that right? Yes. Okay, good. Link works. Yeah, so that's awesome. Fantastic introduction there. They don't waste any time giving us more either. We get another big sequence with Ghost Rider. We even get Ghost Rider versus Quake. In the season premiere. Yeah, they're not keen on wasting time this season. That's for damn sure. I mean, remember in season 1 when people were complaining about how they thought the story wasn't advancing quickly enough? yeah, that's not a thing anymore. So we get this fight, Ghost Rider and Quake. We see Robbie's head burn away to the flaming skull. They show everything. In fact, if you watch that moment really carefully, like really closely, you can actually see the exact moment when his eyeball just pops into flame. Seriously, the eyeball, like bursts into flame, the eyeball just, it happens quick, but it happens. It's so badass. I love it. And I really appreciated that they put him over here. Because Ghost Rider wins this fight. Even though glorifying Daisy is one of the show's favorite things to do. She's not going to stand a chance against the spirit of vengeance in the state she's in right now. And I'm not even a Ghost Rider fan, really. And I freaking love what they did with him here. Yeah, I was geeking out about this. They really nailed the character. He's brutal, and he's violent, and he's scary. He's a little bit sinister, but he's also got the moral compass on top of that. It's everything that Ghost Rider should be. I don't know much about the Robbie Reyes version of the character. I flipped through the first graphic novel in a bookstore once. That's about it. But I don't think he could have asked for a better introduction, really. So that's our A-plot. Elsewhere, a lot of things have changed with the team. There's a pretty big status quo shakeup, wherein the new director has made all these big changes, and the team is split up with new positions in the organization. And add that to Daisy being off on her own, and it really feels like a new show almost. And I was really impressed with how the writers were able to address every character. And did I just lose the damn stream here? Good, okay. Well, yeah, they were able to address every character, show how everyone has changed, everyone's got their own subplot, and with a cast as big as this one, that's a tough balancing act. But they pull it off. These new team dynamics feel like they're going to lead to a lot of really compelling new situations. The most interesting right now seem to be Daisy and Simmons. I really like what they've done with Daisy's character here. She's clearly still lugging around a lot of baggage from last season. She has a lot of things she hasn't made peace with. She's gotten really reckless and doesn't care about hurting bad guys or causing collateral damage if people get in her way. Even though she's still a good guy, it's easy to see why the public and why the new S.H.I.E.L.D. director would be afraid of her, because to the untrained eye, she's become a very dangerous figure. um, to the public and even to herself, as we saw as well. But it all feels organic, after what she went through last season. There's this really impactful moment in the climax where, she basically tells Ghost Rider to just do it, just kill her, because she thinks she deserves to die, because she's still dealing with the trauma of Hive possessing her and the guilt over Lincoln's death and all those other things, and it just, hang on, come on, fuck's sake. So yeah, so the Hive thing and the Lincoln thing, and it just piles up on her until she just can't take it anymore. And if you've ever experienced depression and things of that nature, those are really difficult feelings to overcome. So that really resonated with me. It's a very powerful moment. And I like the development, because again, you're taking a character that is usually glorified to levels far exceeding anyone else on this show and knocking her off her pedestal until she hits her lowest point, and then showing how she reacts to that. Times like that are when you get really human character moments like this, because as we see here, Daisy is not dealing with this terribly well. And then the twist, when Ghost Rider has her beat, has her helpless, this supernatural creature who judges the guilty, those it thinks deserves to die, and brutally slaughters them, chooses to let her live. But why? Because you could argue that the writer would judge Daisy guilty. I mean, she's killed people, she's not innocent anymore, but still it lets her live just when she's asking him to kill her. Why did he do that? It's a question that Daisy's probably going to be asking herself a lot now. This is a really cool character stuff, because the writers have essentially broken Daisy down to her most vulnerable point, but they won't allow her to get the one thing she thinks she needs to be free of this pain. They did this when she begged Hive to take her back in the season finale, the season 3 finale, rather, because she just couldn't take it anymore, and she's still in that place 6 months later. And I love that, because this is something the Daisy character really needed to go through. Usually it's Fitz and Simmons who are filled with despair and hopelessness in the season premieres, while Daisy is constantly glorified and just gets to be awesome all the time. So this feels like a really refreshing change-up. The other really cool one is Simmons, who's gotten herself promoted by the new director to be his special advisor to science-type stuff. So she can kind of spy on him and at least try to keep some control over this new situation the team is in. Says a lot about the growth that she's been through, that Simmons has experienced, how she would think of doing this while someone like May would not. And the crazy thing is that she technically outranks May now. Isn't that nuts? Yet May having to take orders from Simmons is going to be fun to watch. Then there's Dr. Radcliffe and his thing. We don't get a ton with this LMD, this beautiful, naked LMD. But I really liked Mallory Jansen's performance, the actress. It was funny. It was also kind of creepy at the same time. And there's a lot of possibilities where this could go. I mean, it's got to be just a matter of time before Ada goes nuts. And who doesn't love a good story about science gone horribly wrong, It's like the gun on the wall. If you see the gun, sooner or later, somebody's got to get shot with that gun. I mean, you see this robot intended to protect SHIELD agents. One of the first things she does is say, "I'm incapable of killing someone." Oh yeah, this is not going to go well. That's not going to last long. And I think it's kind of fascinating that they're exploring the idea of artificial intelligence and LMDs in the same episode where they're introducing the first hint of the supernatural into the MCU. It makes me wonder if this season might have sort of a magic versus science theme to it. I hope so, because I love stuff like that. Also, there's some fun relationship stuff going on here. Yo-Yo is still around, which is cool because Slingshot is awesome. Also, now that Fitz is getting laid on the regular, Mac is sporting the biggest set of blue balls on the show, so that'll be good for him. Also, good that Daisy has at least one friend to talk to, because she's probably going to need that. Then we got Fitzsimmons, who are living together now. And this is a big milestone for the show, actually, because this is the first season premiere where Fitz and Simmons are not split apart, miserable, in mortal peril, or all three of those things. Sure, there's the usual drama going on that comes with a job, but at the moment they're together in a relationship and they're happy. And it's glorious. And, after all the misery that my favorite couple were put through in the last 3 seasons, that's a wonderful change. I don't expect it to last very long. I'm sure this Ada secret is going to cause problems, even though Fitz has a good reason for keeping it a secret, but I'm going to savor every single second of it before the shit hits the fan. For right now, Fitzsimmons have done their time in hell, and the drama is going to be relationship stuff, while Daisy takes their place as the character getting put through the ringer for a change. I welcome this development with open arms. And the episode didn't forget about the Felinda shippers either. I'm not really one of those people. I never cared to see Coulson and May being romantic, but I understand why other fans might want them together. But it definitely felt like the writers were trolling those people here. There's that scene at the end where they're alone, and there's definitely some subtle vibes being put out there. Coulson appreciating that they have some time for just the two of them finally, but just when the shippers are getting excited, oh wait, May might be possessed by that ghost thing. We saw what happened to those guys who let it out of the box. If May is possessed by it now, I pity anyone within 100 yards of her. Yeah, Coulson may have picked the wrong time to have a private chat with his gal pal there. He might be in trouble. This episode was everything you want in a season premiere. Really, it starts with a bang, literally. The visual effects for Ghost Rider are fantastic. They felt almost movie quality. The action was cool. It establishes a new status quo, setting a lot of balls in motion. Every character gets the attention they need. No one gets ignored. There's multiple cliffhangers set up immediately, all of which are really interesting. And it introduces a really fun new aspect of the MCU that we haven't seen before. This is the first time the MCU has dealt with anything mystical. They beat Doctor Strange and Iron Fist to the punch here by a couple of months. And like I said, I don't think they could have done Ghost Rider any better. They really couldn't have done this until now. When they were on at 8 or even 9, they wouldn't have been able to get away with some of these things. But now they're on at a later time, and more of the handcuffs are off, and they can go more violent like Ghost Rider needs to be. I think there was more blood in this episode than there was in the last 3 seasons. And hell, in one scene, Mac is talking about how about his victims and how one of Ghost Rider's victims had his spine ripped out. That's dark stuff, but it's awesome. A show like this needs to be a little dark. So from a creative standpoint, the move to 10 p.m. I think is going to allow them to do some really cool things this year. This was a terrific start to season 4. I thought this was great. And okay, let's see what you guys thought. And then try to wrap this up, because I really do need to keep this one brief tonight, guys. Okay. There's a character in Runaways named Carolina Dean, aka Lucy in the Sky. I have seen a lot of people guessing online that the ghostly thing could be her. I don't see why. Isn't Carolina supposed to be like part alien? No, I think this thing was supposed to be a ghost. I don't see any resemblance between this ghost and Carolina. No, I don't see any resemblance or any relation there at all. I think the ghostly thing is Lilith, the mother of demons. She's an old Ghost Rider enemy and a powerful villain who basically an evil chick version of Doctor Strange in terms of powers. Okay. Like I said, I'm not really familiar with Ghost Rider that much, so I guess you would know better than I would. When they said they were moving the show to 10 o'clock so it could get darker, they weren't kidding. The opening scene looked like it came right out of Netflix. Yeah. Like a Ghost Rider pulls this dude out of the car, and you see this big spatter of blood across the window. Like, damn. The only thing missing was just like actually seeing it, rather than implying it. I mean, of course, at that point you'd have to go like hard R, and that's something you could only do on like HBO or Netflix or something. But they went there. Um, a lot of shades of Daredevil season 2 in there. Yeah, yeah. Um, I also think this new Ghost Rider isn't Ghost Rider. I think it's Vengeance. Isn't it the same thing? They made the new Ghost Rider look awesome. Agreed. He's too different and weird than the real Ghost Rider and more way brutal than usual. The real Ghost Rider? Not sure what you mean by that. Um, let's see. So, will Ghost Rider have the penance stare? Also, if you had that power, who would you use it on? I don't think I'd use it on anyone. Had the penance stare? I don't know. I don't know if the Robbie Reyes version has that ability. Um, he doesn't, to my knowledge, but like I said, I'm not really familiar with Robbie Reyes as a character. Looks like they're setting Simmons up for a fall this season. She is way too happy at a time when everyone else is pissed. Plus, it seems to me after the scene with May that she's a little drunk on power. I disagree. I don't think she. I don't think she does. She doesn't seem that happy to me. Frustrated. Uh, I think she understands the situation that they're in, and she's taking it very seriously. I didn't get the impression that she was particularly happy. Not at all. And I don't think that she was drunk on power either. She's just using it in a way that she thinks it needs to be used. Like I said, she's trying. She knows that the new director trusts her, and she doesn't want to lose that trust because as long as the director trusts her, that means she can maintain some kind of control over this new situation that Shield finds itself in. Because it seems like nobody trusts the director. Uh, so as long as she's in his ear, she can influence this person. But in order to do that, she needs to kind of play by the rules. And if she's taking daily lie detector tests, that means when she found out that May kept a secret from her, she had to report it. Because, she can't. Simmons is a bad liar. That's been well established. She can't fool the lie detector. But no, I don't think Simmons is drunk on power at all. Daisy looks sexy as hell in the darker look. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, that is scene for scene. Wow. Yeah, dude. Yeah, guys, check out the link. For shot recreation of the comic panels. That's Ghost Rider's introduction. I didn't even know about that. This is something I found the other day. I'm like, wow, they really. It's like they use the comic panels for storyboards. It's really impressive. Let's see. Ada has only two fates. One, she becomes a villain, or two, she will become Shield's version of Data from Star Trek TNG. Oh, I would bet good money that she becomes a villain. Uh, like I said, I saw Ex Machina. These things tend to go badly. Let's see. With Gemma acting like Victoria Hand 2.0, I could see Fitz starting to have feelings for Ada. Love triangles are overdone, but I could see it happening in this case. Now, I don't know. I really don't think so. I mean, they've really hammered it home over 3 seasons that Fitz is he's hung up on Gemma. That's the girl of his dreams. He's with her now. I don't see why he would ever have eyes for anyone else at this point. Now, I could see a situation wherein Gemma might think he does, where Gemma might feel jealousy toward Ada because of maybe some kind of misunderstanding, and maybe she thinks that Fitz may have some kind of feelings or attachment to Ada. But would he ever actually do that, like willingly, knowingly? I don't think so. No. Now that would feel like a betrayal of the character at this point. Um, they're still glorifying Fitz and Simmons too much. They're as annoying as usual again. Glorifying? Simmons maybe, but Fitz? I'm not sure how Fitz was glorified here. he was put in a difficult situation. Um, he made a call that he might come to regret. Now he did it with good intentions, but I don't. He made the call he thought was right. I guess I don't see any glorified Fitz here. Um, Simmons maybe I grant you, but your definition of glorification and mine might not be the same. Um, are there similarities with Ghost Rider and Punisher? They both characters that punish the guilty in violent, brutal ways. Let's see. Okay, guys, we don't. I try not to address wrestling too much in these streams because that's what the Impact stream is for. So if you got something to ask me about Impact or wrestling in general, just save it for Saturday. Okay. But just because you asked here, I just want to say I want both Allie and Gail Kim to beat the shit out of Maria. I would prefer just Allie beat the shit out of Maria. I don't particularly want Gail to have that particular feather in her cap at this point. I don't think she needs it. Okay. You can take the last part of the game, just put it back in the 90s. Hope we get a Ghost Rider spin-off out of this and it'll land on Netflix. And it seems to be what a lot of people want. You've been watching the new season of South Park? No. I don't watch a whole lot of TV anymore, and I've never really been into South Park. Not that it's a bad show or anything. I just haven't really caught it. I've seen a couple episodes. It's funny. It's just not really for me. I'm sure the director is an LMD created by Coulson so that he can keep in control and yet hide from the public eye now that S.H.I.E.L.D. is public. I think you said something to me about this on Twitter, too. But yeah, that was my theory. I think the new director's a robot. I'm saying that right now. I think the new director's a robot. Whether or not Coulson created him, who knows? But we know that the Koenigs have been a thing since season 1, so we still don't know what their deal is, but I'm assuming the Koenigs are LMDs, so we know their LMDs are a thing and have been. So who knows? I can't believe ABC let them get away with everything in their new time slot. Well, I mean, I think they kept it within reason. It's not like they were dropping F-bombs and stuff. I mean, they didn't show full frontal nudity or anything. I mean, it was nothing really out of the ordinary. I mean, sure, it was darker and more violent stuff than we've seen before on this show, but, I mean, they're on at 10 p.m. They can get away with stuff. I mean, back in the day, NYPD Blue did some really graphic stuff on ABC. I believe they were on at 10 p.m., so it's not as out of the ordinary as you might think. I wonder if at some point they bring Hellfire back for a showdown with Ghost Rider. Funny thing about that, when the first teaser poster hit for season 4, and it was the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. logo with the flaming chain across it, so many people were saying, "Oh, is that Ghost Rider?" And a lot of fans of the show were like, "Guys, there's a character with a flaming chain already in the show. It's got to be Hellfire." And I wonder if that was the writers trolling us. I don't know, but yeah, that would be cool to see Hellfire with his flaming chain battling Ghost Rider with another flaming chain. Not exactly sure how you wind up with two characters like that on the same show. I also believe this new android is Jocasta, which will have interesting impacts on the story if true. Maybe. Say it's unlikely, though. Not without changing a lot of stuff. Let's see. Simmons for life, hell yeah. I don't know. If they'll bring in Mephisto, Dead in the Defenders, but we'll see if they go there with Ghost Rider. Well, I think they said something in the promo for next week, how Robbie may have sold his soul or something to that effect. So maybe they will reference Mephisto. Who knows? I kind of doubt it, but man, it feels more like a Doctor Strange type of thing. But stranger things have happened. Anyone know who the new director is? No, they haven't revealed his identity yet. All we know is Jason O'Mara's playing him. Will Ghost Rider's villains show up? Possibly. I don't know yet. I'll make a wild guess. Ghost Rider is not magical. He's an inhuman, but thinks it's magic, which is why he thought Quake was one at first. I wouldn't have thought so, but Quake wasn't an inhuman in the comics originally, and they changed that for the show. So I guess all bets are off at this point. I'm not going to rule it out. Remember, Slingshot thought her powers were a gift from God once. Ghost Rider may think his are a curse from hell. Yeah, who knows? Glorious. They won't give in until they're victorious. Bobby Roode's WWE theme to describe Fitzsimmons being happy. Yeah. Yeah. It's like we got a little bit of it, of them being happy at the end of last season. But this was like this was very welcome to have them. They start the season out. They're in a good relationship and they're happy together. I mean, they're not seeing each other as much as they want, but they're not fighting. They're not at each other's throats or arguing about stupid stuff or having people come between them or anything. They're just together and they're happy and it's amazing. Let's see. Hope S.H.I.E.L.D. gets a solid villain this season. Look like the spirits are all we got so far with Ghost Rider in the background. It's only the first episode. We don't necessarily need the big bad to show up right away. There's plenty of interesting stuff going on. Mac is finally getting a love interest. Yeah, it's about time, huh? I think Mac was due for some loving. About time he got some action there. The fact that this Ghost Rider is so fucking violent is why I think he's Vengeance. Ghost Rider was a killer, but Vengeance was a beast. Who is Vengeance? Is that another character from the comics I'm not familiar with? They should have given Robbie the Nicolas Cage-like transformation. Oh yeah, with the crazy eyes, like... I don't think that would have worked because they're trying to go like dark and serious and creepy with this new version. I don't think the Nick Cage crazy eyes would have been really appropriate, as entertaining as they are. Because who doesn't love a good batshit insane Nicolas Cage performance? Still, I don't think it would have been totally appropriate in this case. Vengeance is Ghost Rider's evil twin. Kind of guess he's a guy who is also has demonic powers, who's way more brutal than any previous Ghost Rider. Okay, maybe. Ghost Rider has some awesome villains, mostly children of Lilith with various powers. Okay. There was one guy who could slash open wormholes with his clawed hand, and another guy who was an expert surgeon serial killer. Huh. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. It's been a while. What happened to your old YouTube channel? Okay. What happened to my old channel? Nothing happened to my old channel. I got a bullshit strike for supposedly breaking the community guidelines, which I did not do, and I explained this to YouTube. Finally able to get in touch with them. I explained this. I didn't break the community guidelines. The strike is nonsense. They reviewed my case, and they took the strike off my account, so it's not suspended anymore. But something about it is still lingering to where I can't stream from the old account for the time being. So I have to wait a while, something like 6 months for that strike to be lifted, and at which time I will go back to the Full Killer 99 account. Because one of the penalties or whatever is that I can't stream from it. So that's why we're on the backup channel. So once that gets lifted, I think it's a couple more months. I'd have to check. But once that gets lifted, we'll be back to doing these videos from the primary channel. So please don't unsubscribe from the Full Killer 99 channel. I have every intention of going back to that one once this situation is resolved. Anywho, I have a question. Why are they already introducing Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider very early, but not Johnny Blaze? Maybe because the Johnny Blaze character has a stigma attached to it, because there are people who thought the Nick Cage Ghost Rider movies weren't very good. I thought they had entertaining parts about them. But, you know, Robbie Reyes is the current Ghost Rider in the comics. So I think it's logical that they want to use him. They're using this Ghost Rider over Blazer Ketch because they feel the need for a new minority character. That could be part of it. This is a very diverse cast, and they seem to pride themselves on that. But yeah, another Latino character in there. It's not a bad thing. Off topic, I just graduated from ITT with an associate's degree, request to me. Congratulations, dude. And that seems to be about it for the questions. And like I said, I need to get to bed early because I gotta wake up really early tomorrow. I'll give it another minute or two. But I think when are Arrow and Flash back? I don't know. I think it's either a week or 2 weeks. I think one of them might be back next week and the other the week after. Or it's a week or 2 weeks for them. To be honest, I'm not incredibly excited about that. Arrow has been pretty hit and miss for the last 2 seasons, and Flash, oh god, Flash seems to be doing everything it possibly can to piss me off until I quit the show out of sheer frustration. Because no joke, if I wasn't reviewing The Flash for this show, I would not be watching it anymore. Seriously, that show really frustrates me a lot. And I don't know if the review style may have to change, because I really don't want to spend a lot of time on that show anymore. The less time, the better. So maybe I'll just be covering it sort of casually, or just go over the main points or something. I don't know. That may have to change. Anyway, as for the show itself, for the time being, we're going to keep it on Thursday, just starting it at 10:15 p.m. Because Impact is on at 8 to 10 now. The Impact's move to Thursday kind of screwed up my schedule, because I had it all perfect. Had the shows on these days, then I could do the stream on Thursday nights unimpeded and whatever. And now it's that may have to change. For the time being, I think it'll stay on Thursday nights. So plan on these things being Thursdays at 10:15 p.m. Eastern, and we'll see what happens. Are you going to review Luke Cage? We'll talk about it. I'm not incredibly excited about Luke Cage, just because I'm not really big on the character, but I'll watch it. Maybe not with the same fervor that I devoured Daredevil, but it's a Marvel show. I'll check it out. And you guys can ask me questions about that. I don't know if I'll be doing any separate streams for it or anything, but you guys can ask me questions about it, sure. Okay. Here, Rip's in trouble with Merlin. Reverse. Honestly, I don't care about Legends of Tomorrow. I don't care. No, that show drove me off. I want nothing to do with it anymore. I just don't care. Reverse Flash, Dark and Cold as villains in this season. Captain Cold is dead. How are they gonna? You know what? No, don't even get me started. Yeah. I think that'll do it. That'll do it for tonight. Again, thanks everybody for joining me. I assume that we're going to keep these on Thursday nights at 10:15 p.m. Again, this is my backup channel. I'm using it out of necessity right now, but I'm planning to go back to the primary one when that strike nonsense gets sorted out. Might be another couple of months. So for now, this is the one we're going to be streaming from. Please don't unsubscribe from the other one, because I'm going back there eventually. And we're going to stay here unless I have to move the show around for whatever reason. So follow me on Twitter for updates on that. I'm at TheRealFK9. If there's an update, it'll always be on that on my Twitter. So until Saturday, when we talk about wrestling again. So I will talk to you guys then. So for now, peace out. Good night.